Good morning. I know it's been a while. All right. Well, if this is your first time here, my name is Lori, and this is Lori's Journey. I talk about the Atkins diet. I've been on it for about a year and a half now. I've had a lot of ups and downs, and I share my experiences and hopefully have some information that'll help you out. We've been reading the book Dr. Atkins Diet Revolution, and we're continuing on with that. This is chapter 11, Before You Start on This Diet. And before we start reading this book today, a little disclaimer here. I'm not a medical professional, so please seek advice from your doctor before doing what I recommend. So with that in mind, let's start reading. All right, before you start on this diet. Before you start on this diet, you'll need to take 4 simple mechanical preparatory steps. First, you must stop taking certain common medications, which I will explain. They will negate the diet's effectiveness. Second, make sure the vitamins I'll tell you about are at hand. Third, buy a package of keto sticks at your drugstore. They're inexpensive and no prescription is needed for them. Fourth, you should arrange to have a medical checkup to determine your general state of health. Before we go any further, as far as the medications go, do not stop any medications till you've talked with your doctor. First, about the medications you must discontinue. If you were to telephone my office for an appointment to start this diet, the nurse would give you these instructions along with your appointment, subject to your doctor's approval. It is important that you stop taking certain medications well before you start on this diet. 1. Amphetamines, diet pills, must be stopped at least 2 weeks before you start on the diet. 2. Diuretics, water pills, and/or injections must be discontinued 1 full week before you start on this diet. This includes certain medications taken for high blood pressure that contain diuretics. Again, see your doctor first. Then she would reassure you, if discontinuing these medications causes you to gain, don't worry. This weight will come off easily once you start on the diet. Why amphetamines keep you from losing? There are any number of reasons why amphetamines must be discontinued before you start on the diet. As I've said earlier, I feel very strongly, as does any conscientious doctor, about their addictiveness and their aging and enormously destructive effect on both the body and mind. But more specifically, amphetamines are death to any hopes you may have of losing that extra weight for keeps. This is because they have a rebound effect. With few exceptions, people who were once on these pills regain far more weight than they lost while taking them once they go off them. Now, this was written back in the 70s, and we know a lot more now, and we do know this to be true. Diet pills are the worst. There isn't anything psychological or imaginary about this. The chemical rebound effect is totally physical, real, measurable, and invariable. So while the rebound effects of the amphetamines you may have been taking linger on in your system, you cannot expect this or any other diet to work. Enough time must elapse for this chemical rebound effect to wear off. However, even if amphetamines were good for you, there would be no need for them because the diet itself is such a powerful appetite depressant. Why this diet and diuretics don't combine? Now the reason why diuretics must be discontinued is a little different. The diet itself is a very potent diuretic. Yes, the 7 to 10 pound losses we frequently see the first week are partly due to the natural diuretic effect of this diet. So you see, when a synthetic diuretic is combined with this diet, it leads to uncomfortable and even dangerous symptoms of salt depletion and depletion of such vital minerals as potassium and calcium, to name only two. You may want a word with your doctor here. Now, the situation is a bit different when I am not going to be seeing you soon in person and getting your full medical history. Suppose you are taking a heart medicine or a blood pressure medicine that contains a diuretic. It is not the place of this book to suggest that before going on this diet, you stop a medication a doctor has prescribed for you. If you are on such medication, all you can do is ask your doctor if he thinks it would be in your best interest to go on this diet and go off his medication, or go to a less effective diet and continue taking the medication. I personally never have to worry about this problem with my patients, for I am in the position to discontinue, adjust, or substitute any medication as seems to be warranted. I repeat, I do not recommend that you go on this diet if you are taking medication containing diuretics or an amphetamine. This is a situation that calls for consultation with a physician on whose judgment you can rely. Second, have these vitamins on hand when you start your diet. Now let's talk about vitamins and the diet. I'll start out by saying that approximately 10% of the people who begin this diet experience less than the ideal feeling of well-being. There's always a reason. Surprisingly, often I find the reason is malnutrition. Vitamin and mineral reserves are so depleted in some dieters that it requires more than a week of taking high dosage vitamins and minerals to rebuild that reserve. But after a few weeks between the effect of the diet and the vitamins, there is a wonderful upsurge of energy. Now hold on. Don't be thinking this is unhealthy, because that's not what he's saying. You just have to stick with us here. For leg cramps, take calcium. For fatigue, the answer may be potassium. When there are leg cramps, extra calcium is in order, and there is often a kind of fatigue for which potassium supplements are the specific. About vitamins in general, I don't believe in minimum daily requirements. I believe in optimum dosage. I have used vitamins in mega doses in my practice with great success. All the big drug companies put out a multivitamin and mineral tablet or capsules in therapeutic strength. Ask your druggist about them. Or you may get them from your health food and vitamin store. This is not the place to enter into the natural versus synthetic vitamin controversy. If the minimum daily requirement is one capsule or tablet, you would probably be better off taking 2 a day, and supplement these, if necessary, with other vitamins once you've read the vitamin contents on the label. I like to see my patients taking not less than 800 units of vitamin E daily and around 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. I believe in at least double the therapeutic dosage of full spectrum of the vitamin B complex, and much more in hypoglycemia seems to be the problem. Now, just so you understand, vitamin C and vitamin B are two vitamins that if you take too much, unless you're way over, it's not going to be a problem, because what happens is the excess will be peed out. So when you go to the bathroom, you're going to get rid of it. Now, you don't have to go crazy with it, but what he's saying here is that these levels of vitamin B and vitamin C are not going to be a problem, and you want to get the ultimate amount. I'm not educated enough on vitamin E, but I'm sure that if he's telling us to do this, that it's not a problem. I did do my research, and found some vitamins on Amazon that I've been taking. I think it's called One Daily or something. You know what? I'm going to be right back. I'm going to show it to you. There we go. It's called Simply One. There we go. Now I got the 50 plus women this time because they didn't have the regular women vitamin anymore. But it's got a lot of good stuff in it. It's got a very good high dosage of each thing. And that's what I've been taking since I've started this. They have chewables, and that's what I like to take. But I accidentally ordered the non-chewable this time. So I'm not sure about taking these. But anyway. And as far as this whole vitamin thing is, you know, everyone should be taking a vitamin anyway. Our foods that we eat nowadays just do not have the same nutrients that they used to. And so you have to supplement anymore, sadly, because they're just, I don't know, there's something that's happened in our world that our foods just are not as nutrient rich as they used to be. All right. You cannot safely increase the standard dosage of vitamin A, 25,000 international units, nor the vitamin D, 400 international units. But so-called overdoses of the other vitamins are simply flushed away by the kidneys, and the mineral and vitamin needs of individuals vary widely on or off any diet. What may be an overdose for somebody else may be barely enough for your body's needs, depending on various factors, your age, the stress you are under, and your past history of diet and previous medications. Don't wait for symptoms of these deficiencies to appear. Don't just say, I feel fine, so I don't need them. Now is the time to take protective measures. So, you know, we have stores of different things in our bodies, and as you change your eating habits, it's going to use those stores because it's not sure if you're going through a famine or why you're changing your eating style. So that's what's happening with your body. Third, exactly how you use keto sticks to find your CCL, critical carbohydrate level. You'll want a package of keto sticks right there in your bathroom medicine chest when you start the diet. If the nearest druggist doesn't happen to carry them and doesn't want to order so inexpensive an item for you, keep on shopping until you do find them. It shouldn't be any problem. They're easy to find. You can get them at Walmart and Walgreens. You can get them on Amazon, I'm sure. I got it at Thrive Market. And yeah, it's easy to find. It's in the diabetic section of most stores, in their pharmacy section. All right. I want to make it clear that using the urine test sticks are not by any means essential to the success of this diet. I use them with all my patients, but thousands of readers of articles about this diet have lost all the weight they wanted to without knowing anything about the use of these urine test sticks. David Brown, the motion picture mogul, is one example. He lost 40 pounds on this diet just by reading about it in Cosmopolitan magazine, which is edited by his wife, Helen Gurley Brown, and following it entirely on his own. However, using the test sticks and seeing them turn purple does add interest to the venture in the beginning. This visible and dramatic proof that your body is burning off its fat gives you somewhat the same kind of psychological bracing that you get from a daily confrontation with your doctor. The test sticks, too, are a big help at those times, which occasionally happen to almost everybody, when you mysteriously seem to have gone over your critical carbohydrate level and have stopped losing. There's a big help. They're a big help in checking your progress with the job of getting under your CCL again. You see, the turning purple reaction sometimes anticipates what's shortly going to show up on the scales. It should encourage you by demonstrating that you are burning up your fat stores, even when the scale shows you to be on a plateau. The happy turning purple test, sign of your metabolic breakthrough. Before you start on the diet, I am going to review precisely how you want to use the keto sticks on this regime. Consider what follows a rehearsal, a kind of preview of what is to happen. Step 1. Keep a food diary for 2 days, then test. I could just say after 2 days on the diet, test your urine. But success is doubly sure if you keep a record of exactly what you eat at first. Quantities aren't important. What is important is that what you eat contains no carbohydrate at all and no alcohol either. In the next chapter, you will read what this diet is and later find recipes and menus to help you follow it. But now the point I want to make is, keep a diary of everything you eat. I think it would be a good idea to show this diary to somebody, perhaps a friend or your mate, who is in your life, can play this role of doctor or superego. You need a somebody to check with, perhaps a somebody who has read this book and lost some weight. Better yet, how about placing a bet with someone? A bet you can't afford to lose. I've found this can provide compelling motivation to stay on a diet. Just make sure it is a long-term bet, because staying thin is your objective. As I like to tell my patients, any idiot can lose weight. It's staying thin that's the test. I think we all know that's the truth. After you have written down everything you have eaten for 2 days, begin to test your urine. You might test from the beginning, but you should be surprised if it were to turn before 2 days on the diet. Just hold the strip where the urine will wet it, or collect a sample in a paper cup and put the tip of the urine test stick in it. The color of the submerged tip may begin to show some shade of purple within the first minute. When it does, you're in luck. You are beginning to break down your fat deposits and excrete acetone or ketone bodies. This usually begins around the 2nd or 3rd day. For me, I still remember I started on a Monday and it was Wednesday morning that it started changing. It wasn't a dark purple yet, but it was starting to become a light purple then. And I was so excited. What to do if the test stick doesn't change color? If the test stick doesn't turn purple, then one or two things is taking place. Either you're not following the diet correctly, or you have a rather unusual degree of metabolic resistance. First, establish that you are following the diet correctly, and do it for at least 5 days. If the stick is still not turning even lavender, then cut out your salad for a few days and see if it doesn't turn. Salad is the only significant source of carbohydrate in the diet at this point. As soon as the keto sticks turns purple, put the salad on the diet again. Now you're back on the first week's diet. Once you have established that you can produce acetone, you can have every right to expect you will do so every day. From then on, you add the foods you have most missed in approximately 5-gram units. Warning: the time of day you test makes a difference. 1 day a week, test your urine right through the day, morning, midday, evening, night. Find out which hour of the day gives you the deepest reaction. Usually it's in the evening. If that's the time that it gives you the deepest reaction, then that's the time you should check. As long as the test stick shows some degree of purple or lavender, you're all right. But any day in which you go from a deep purple to a light shade, or to no change of color at all, beige, is a day in which you've had more carbohydrates than you should have. Go back and look at your eating diary. See if you can pick out what carbohydrates you have had and how many grams you have had. Was your daily total 20 grams, 35, 45? Whatever that amount, it was too much. How to know when you're near your personal CCL, critical carbohydrate level. When the keto sticks doesn't change color, you've probably exceeded your critical carbohydrate level. Go back to the basic diet of the first week until the test stick turns purple again. Then start adding in your carbohydrate increments until your test stick turns so pale a purple that you know you're approaching your personal CCL. As you begin to be familiar with your own reactions, you begin to learn what foods affect your keto sticks tests. You'll have a very good idea as to exactly what is your critical carbohydrate level. I must say that I have treated many people whose urine has stopped showing the purple reaction, yet they continue to lose weight and feel well. This occurs when there is only a moderate increase of acetone in the blood, but not enough to spill over into the urine. It is perfectly all right providing that there has been no increase in appetite or drop in energy compared to the early weeks, and when the weight loss is continuing. Purple means you're losing and never hungry. There's another way of knowing that your metabolism is being normalized. As I've said before, this diet is working if you notice a decrease in your hunger. It is not working if you notice that you are hungry. So being hungry is either right, nor desirable, nor necessary. Usually the deeper the purple shown on the keto sticks, the less the hunger. The paler the color shown on the keto sticks, the more the possibility of hunger. However, you will find which shade of purple correlates best with your own feeling, and this for you is the ideal. It's easy to follow your progress. Just be aware of your decreased appetite and note that you are losing at a comfortable pace. That is so true. I never really compared it to my purple stick, but yeah, as you get going in the Atkins, you just find yourself not being as hungry as you used to be. And right now I've really been failing. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and start keeping track of what I'm eating again. See, this is why I'm doing this, because this motivates me and helps you at the same time, I hope. But at any rate, I think I'm going to use a notepad app this time because it's so hard, especially if you have a recipe, how to put in all the ingredients that you ate when you have like MyFitnessPal, which I love MyFitnessPal. I may go and like copy it over later, but especially when you're just sitting there finishing up eating and you're trying to put in whatever it is, or if you wait till the end of the day or the next day, it takes so long to put a recipe in if you include all the ingredients. So I may just go with this notepad thing. OneNote is what I've been using for stuff. Anyway, fourth, what you need to know about yourself medically. When I took on the responsibility of writing this book, I knew that the effect of this book would be to take dietary advice out of the hands of the doctor, where I personally believe it belongs, into the hands of the reader himself. In point of fact, it is self-evident that the selection of one's diet is under the control of the individual dieter. And because you readers need the benefits of this diet, I agreed to transfer my medical management into your own hands. But there are measures I take as a matter of routine, which I feel you should arrange in order to ensure the smooth functioning of the diet. And this is important. Before any patient starts with me, I take a comprehensive series of blood tests, which I recommend you have your own physician give you, particularly if you have more than 20 pounds to lose. Get a routine series of blood tests at a baseline so that if anything changes, you will know where you stand. The blood counts, sugar level, cholesterol, and triglycerides should improve, but the uric acid level may go up. For my patients, this rarely poses a problem because I routinely prescribe a drug to prevent uric acid formation for my patients if the uric acid level is high to begin with, or if it goes above the normal range after being on the diet. After all, this diet is not a fad diet, nor is it designed for a quick weight loss, but it's going to be the way you eat for the rest of your life. So don't you think it would be nice to have your own personal doctor confirm what you are about to experience? That this diet will make you a healthier person than you ever thought you would be again, and that your medical laboratory tests will show this too? And that's the end of the chapter. Now, I didn't do it at the beginning, but last year I did go ahead and have the blood test run and everything. I was there for other reasons, and I was like, hey, took the book with me, and I said, I've been doing this diet, and he suggests that you have blood tests run, and the doctor I saw, she was really happy to hear that I was doing Atkins, and she said that it's a very good diet. And so, of course, she ordered the blood tests and everything. And so I do have the numbers still here. And I found out, she told me then that about once a year, towards the beginning of the year, they do a reduced cost blood tests exam and all that stuff during 1 week. So I'm going to try to go during that time next time and compare my numbers and see how I'm doing. But at any rate, especially if you have heart problems or diabetes, or if you have any medical condition, you should go see your doctor, tell them you're planning on starting a new diet, and you just want to make sure that it's going to be that your body's healthy, and you want to see where your starting point is so that you can compare later on and get the blood test done. And then also, you might catch something that you don't know you have. I've heard of people who had diabetes and didn't know it. And then you can be even more cautious as you start on this diet. And like he says, start out with a salad and then your meats and things, and then increase the other items as you go. That's so that you basically are detoxing your body during those first couple of weeks. You're detoxing your body from all the bad stuff that we've been eating for all these years. And the purest form is the meats and the salad. And so we start with that, and then we can add other things and see if there's see how we do. And this diet is about figuring out what your body does well with. That's my best description of it. I hear a lot of people in the keto community saying how they have certain exact things that they can eat. But with Atkins, I feel like it's more of adjusting to what your needs are. And I heard someone a while back say that her body doesn't do well with Atkins because there was too many carbs for her. That's not what Atkins is. Atkins is adjusting to your needs. He just said it in this chapter. So obviously, like he said, you're doing it wrong if that's your issue. Now, maybe it's not for her. That's fine. You know, I'm not here about saying everyone in the world needs to be on Atkins, but that is the most important thing I want you to take away from this channel is that the Atkins diet is about adjusting to what your body needs. So, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Last time I was dealing with vertigo. That is completely gone now, I think. So that makes me happy. I don't have to sit on the edge of the bed for 5 minutes before I can stand up. And I was also mentioning that I'm thinking about putting together a group on Facebook. I haven't had time to do that yet. I've had a lot of homework. And in a couple weeks, that will be, I'll be done with this class. So let's see how things go. I will set up a group though. So if you're interested, you can leave a comment below and I'll let you all know when it's set up. So with that, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Enjoy the journey.